This is a raw story about the fragile relationship between a mother, Amelia, and her daughter Chloe, who lives just 2 hours away. When Chloe visits her hometown, she chooses to stay with her grandparents, signaling a deep, painful rift. The story explores Amelia's secret anxiety, driving without a license due to repeated test failures, which she uses as an excuse for never visiting Chloe. The tension culminates when Chloe hastily leaves Amelia's new apartment, crushing Amelia, who retaliates by skipping a family cookout. The visit ends with a painful confrontation with an aunt, where both mother and daughter's unspoken hurts, Chloe feeling unwanted, Amelia feeling rejected, finally spill out, revealing a relationship strained by fear, distance, and profound miscommunication. Before we continue, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button so you'll know when we upload a new video. Let us know where you are watching from in the comments below. Now, to the story. The phone rang precisely at 12:07 a.m. Its synthetic chime slicing through the quiet of Amelia's small apartment. It was her daughter, Chloe. Amelia snatched the phone up, trying to inject warmth into her voice.
Hey, sweetie, you made it safe then?
Yeah, Mom, I'm good. Listen, I'm just calling to let you know I'm crashing at Grandpa and Grandma's tonight. It was a long drive, and they have room.
Amelia's chest tightened, a quiet, familiar stab of disappointment.
Oh, okay. I was hoping you'd come straight here, maybe stay a night or two with me first, but that's fine. Tell them I said hello.
Will do. Talk tomorrow.
Chloe replied quickly, the line clicking dead before Amelia could formulate a proper good night. She set the phone down, the promised visit already feeling like a distant, formal appointment. She got back into her bed, but sleep refused to come.
Grandparents' house?
She thought bitterly, as if her mother's house wasn't also her daughter's grandma's house. But Chloe had been clear, choosing the sprawling, familiar comfort of her childhood haven over the cramped, sterile newness of Amelia's small rental. The next morning, Amelia drove the 3 miles across town to her parents' house. The trip was short, but every mile was a quiet act of rebellion. She gripped the wheel too tightly, watching her speed, acutely aware that she was driving without a license. She'd failed the written test twice now, the rules blurring together under the pressure, and she was weary of the endless, humble begging for rides. The car was her lifeline to her doctor, to the grocery store, to a semblance of independence. She hadn't driven the 2 hours to see Chloe for months, not because she didn't want to, but because the fear of being pulled over, of losing this last piece of autonomy, felt too great. Was it an excuse? The question haunted her constantly. It certainly sounded like one. When she stepped onto the porch, her mother, June, opened the door, and there was Chloe, leaning against the kitchen island, looking older, sharper, and impossibly beautiful.
Chloe!
Amelia cried, stepping forward. Chloe gave a surprised smile, and Amelia pulled her close, inhaling the scent of her hair, a familiar comfort she hadn't realized she missed so deeply.
Oh, my girl, I've missed you so much.
The hug was warm, but brief. The visit went smoothly until Chloe's final afternoon. Amelia finally gathered her nerve.
Come on, honey, let me show you my place, just for a few minutes. I want to chill with you, just us.
Chloe agreed, and they drove back across town. Amelia was proud of the place. It was small and clean. But the moment Chloe stepped inside the door, she visibly tensed, looking around the living room and then checking her watch.
Wow, Mom, it's really clean.
Chloe said, her tone polite but distant.
Look, I should really get back. Grandpa's grilling tonight and I wanted to help.
The words struck Amelia like a physical blow. Clean. As if her life had been reduced to a sanitary waiting room. Help her grandfather grill. The rejection was absolute. Amelia's feelings, bottled up for months, curdled into self-pity. She drove Chloe back to her parents' house, then retreated back to her apartment. For the rest of the day, and into the evening, she stayed in her bed, the curtains drawn, watching reality TV, and eating until she felt numb. Just as she was drifting into a food coma, the phone rang again. It was Chloe.
Mom, I'm so sorry. I left my purse in your car when we came back. Also, could I borrow your grill? Auntie Pat is bringing me by to grab it right now.
Amelia dragged herself up. She went to the car, retrieved the purse, and set it on the small table by the back door, next to the small charcoal kettle grill she had not used in ages. She locked the door and waited. She wanted this exchange to be quick. A few moments later, Chloe knocked. Amelia opened the door and handed her the purse and pointed to the grill. Chloe's face was unreadable, a mixture of hurry and something that looked like hurt.
Okay, thanks, Mom.
She muttered. She glanced over at the idling car, where her Auntie Pat, June's sister, was waiting, and waved. Aunt Pat honked. Chloe snatched the grill and started running back.
Hope you make it to the cookout, Mom.
Chloe yelled back. Amelia leaned against the doorframe.
I'm tired, honey. If I don't, you have a safe trip home, okay?
She closed the door before Chloe could respond, the sound final and heavy. It wasn't until the next afternoon, when Amelia was speaking to her other daughter, that the dam broke. Her daughter told her how hurt Chloe was. Then Aunt Pat called, skipping the pleasantries and going straight for the jugular.
Amelia, you know how much this girl loves you. She thinks you didn't want her there. You haven't seen her in months, you don't visit her, and you barely know your own granddaughter. And then you couldn't even come to the cookout. She thinks you don't care.
The words finally hit Amelia, tearing away the veneer of her fear and self-pity. The accumulated guilt and the shock of hearing her actions described so boldly as an act of rejection shattered the glass entirely. A sudden surge of defensive anger rose, fueled by her own pain, and the deep, wounded feeling of being accused of something she knew, deep down, was a misunderstanding, yet felt so unfair.
And what about her choice?
Amelia shot back, the words coming out hard, laced with the acid of her long-held grievances.
Why did she spend the whole time with you and Mom and Dad, and not me? Why, when I finally asked her to come over to my new place to spend a few minutes, was she instantly ready to go? You want to talk about who doesn't want who there? Maybe she didn't want to be with me.
She heard the sharp intake of breath on the other end, the familiar sound of a boundary being crossed. Amelia's voice was shaking, not with sadness, but with the raw, volatile power of years of suppressed resentment finally escaping. She hadn't meant to sound so accusatory, but once the words were out, they hung in the air, undeniable. The line went silent, filled only with the faint static of a relationship that had been allowed to drift 2 hours too far, for too long. In that vacuum, Amelia heard Pat's slow, deliberate exhale.
Amelia?
Pat finally said, her voice dropping, losing its edge and becoming heavy with sorrow and exhaustion.
She's an adult, yes, but she's also your daughter, who moved away to have a life, and you haven't made the effort to be a consistent part of it. She gravitates to the people who are present, who show up, and she's hurting because she thinks you've been choosing to keep your distance from her and your granddaughter. That's the reality. You can't put that back on her choices to leave your place quickly or spend time with the others. She's waiting for you to fight for her.
Pat's words were meant to be the final word, the undeniable truth, but they struck a discordant note in Amelia. Her defensive posture stiffened, fueled by a new surge of bewilderment.
Fight for her?
Amelia echoed, her voice still rough, but now edged with genuine confusion, not just anger.
Pat, I haven't seen Chloe in months because she lives 2 hours away. You haven't visited her either, have you? Neither have Mom and Dad. None of us have. Why am I the only one she's mad at? Why are you the only one holding me accountable for not being a consistent part of her life when none of us are? The cookout was my first chance to see her. Why is she only punishing me?
The quiet returned, thicker and more strained this time. Amelia was breathing hard, the injustice of the selective outrage burning in her chest. Pat hesitated, and when she spoke, her tone had shifted. Less judge, more reluctant confessor.
Amelia, we are family. We all understand the distance, the travel costs, the timing. But Chloe knows that when she comes here, to us, we drop everything for her. We are all present when she's in town. You didn't even make it to the one gathering she organized for everyone to see her. We didn't travel to her, no, but we didn't reject her invitation to gather when she came to us. And she's your daughter, Amelia. Her hurt is deeper for you. It's a different kind of abandonment when it comes from your own mother.
Amelia was speechless, the sudden shift in Pat's defense opening a chasm beneath her. Pat wasn't admitting to a shared fault. She was explaining a hierarchy of blame. The burden of effort was different for the mother. Pat was saying that the others were excused because they weren't the mother. They were excused because they showed up for the cookout. The line went silent again. This time the static sounded like the faint, high-pitched whine of a realization too painful to accept. Amelia swallowed, the hollow ache returning, vast and terrible. She had been searching for an equal playing field of blame, but Pat had just told her that as the mother, she stood alone on the field, exposed. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think about this story in the comments. Until next time, I'm Dan Carter, and this is Fiction and Flame.